You see this right here. This is the exact problem with Paris Saint-Germain, and unfortunately the reason why the club continues to fail year after year in where it matters most. PSG are gradually destroying themselves by constantly trying to fix the club's problems with money. Sounds crazy, right? Money isn't everything, and PSG are beginning to realize this in the harshest way possible. Simply buying all of the biggest players in the world is no guarantee to long-term success, just as the Galacticos. Carlo Ancelotti left PSG in 2013 and immediately won the 2013-14 Champions League title with Real Madrid. Unai Emery left PSG in 2017, reached the Europa League final in his first season at Arsenal, he failed and then won it last season at Villarreal. And Thomas Tuchel left PSG for Chelsea in 2020 and won the 2020-21 Champions League title in his first season at the club. The fact that former PSG managers attain success at other clubs as soon as they leave PSG is not, and I repeat, it's not a coincidence. This just proves that PSG is not the most friendly environment for managers, and this is the biggest issue at the club that the club's hierarchy are surprisingly ignoring. They continue to spend big on players thinking that is the solution to their problems, without knowing that they are constantly adding more egos to their squad, which becomes a huge problem for the managers, and when the managers fail to perform, they get sacked, then replaced, and the cycle continues. PSG is a club which is unceremoniously run by the players. When it comes to certain decisions regarding certain players, the managers have almost no say because his authority is usually undermined by those above him. This kind of thing makes it difficult for players to respect their managers. There have also been several cases of indiscipline from the Paris Saint-Germain players that almost never goes punished. We start with Neymar again. There was a time Neymar missed an important appointment with the club sponsors due to partying, and according to L'Equipe, sporting director Lionel did not discipline him. Mauro Icardi, who had a highly publicized breakup with his partner and agent Wanda Nara to the point where they even publicly argued in the club's parking lot, missed a couple of training sessions to try to fix his relationship without submitting a request to the club for him to do so. Not saying he shouldn't fix his relationship with his wife, but if he was going to skip training, the club has to know. There have also been others like players turning up late to training, partying all night and missing training the following day because of it, players not returning from their respective breaks on time, and also players publicly disrespecting their managers over being subbed off during matches. All these events just goes to show the level of indiscipline that is being tolerated by the club. And now, according to some people, it appears Lionel Messi is becoming badly influenced by the club's culture. The Argentine has recently come under fire after he allegedly never informed or kept Pochettino updated about his health condition after he recently contracted COVID, even going as far as not picking his manager's calls, leading to some labeling it as a complete disrespect to the manager. PSG have now been identified as a club where players have all the power, which is a stark contrast to what is happening at their fellow cash-flowing comrades, Manchester City. At Manchester City, it's clear the manager has a fair bit of control over his players and can discipline the players exactly the way he likes. When Jack Grealish and Phil Foden were recently pictured out at a party they attended while Pep was away at Barcelona to attend Sergio Aguero's retirement announcement, Guardiola dropped them for their clash against Newcastle United in the Old Derby. in a Premier League match. He dropped them despite their performance in their previous match against Leeds United. It is also worth noting that Guardiola did that keeping in mind that Grealish is the club's record signing. If Pochettino did that to Neymar at PSG, then he would potentially inquire the wrath of the Brazilian. This player versus manager power struggle is exactly why PSG finds it really difficult to move forward. At Manchester City, they mostly avoid big signings because of this exact issue, and that's why Guardiola has the luxury of benching and starting whoever he wants based on performances and discipline without the club's hierarchy breathing down his neck and forcing him to play a player who is out of form just because of his status. Recent history has shown that you cannot attain a long period of success by simply signing all of the best players in the world and stuffing them into your team. Despite having all the money in the world, they just couldn't buy their way to winning the Champions League. However, PSG are not the only stinking rich club that has failed to do this exact same thing. Their fellow oil money comrades Manchester City are suffering exactly the same thing, but with City, there is actually a sense that they are well equipped to effectively challenge this situation compared to PSG. That being because of the fact that Manchester City's much structured and disciplined approach to success. They are aware that building a successful team takes time along with careful planning and not just chucking cash at any world-class player that's available on the market just because they feel like it. You cannot simply implement a galactical policy at a Premier League club because that won't take you anywhere. A recent not so pure example of this is Manchester United. Well, that's the best I could find. They brought in Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund for 85 million euros, Rafael Varane from Real Madrid for 34 million pounds, and lastly, similar to PSG, they brought in one of the GOATs of football, Cristiano Ronaldo from Juventus. Both PSG and Manchester United adopted similar transfer strategies last summer, and with all the new signings, expectations were high. But right now, both teams currently aren't looking like the team which many had hoped them to be, with Manchester United currently having it worse. But that is not to say if PSG were put in the exact same situation as Manchester United or if they switched places that they would be topping the Premier League table. Far from it. PSG plays in a league which many consider to be a farmers' league, and perhaps that could be the reason why the decline doesn't seem to be so serious because despite countless draws and uninspiring victories, PSG currently tops the league table by 11 points, but that might be quite unlikely if they were playing in the Premier League. A case could also be made that both Manchester United and PSG didn't need to sign their respective GOAT signings, and their teams are currently losing more than they are gaining with them. I personally don't think that's the case because if these two men were signed with a tactical plan in mind, then the clubs wouldn't be in such a mess right now. But instead, they were wanted because of their commercial and global appeal. If it was simply to make the team better, then Mauricio Pochettino, as a well-qualified football manager, should know that for his style of play, it's already bad enough accommodating two players who don't press, and adding a third will potentially make him throw his tactics out the window. Pochettino is forced to sacrifice the entire team to accommodate a world-class frontline trio of players who hardly press, and the painful part is that when things go wrong, the manager is usually the person that takes the blame for it. PSG, just like Manchester United, currently lack harmony in the squad. It is said that the squad is divided into cliques. The first one is a South American clique led by Neymar and Messi, which includes Paredes, Marquinhos, Rafinha, and Di Maria, and the second led by Achraf Hakimi and Kylian Mbappe for the French-speaking players. All is not well for PSG, as the club are reportedly planning to hire Zinedine Zidane. A lot of Paris Saint-Germain fans may be excited at Zidane's potential appointment owing to his record at Madrid in knowing how to keep big egos happy. But there's a problem with that. Zidane inherited a Real Madrid squad that was willing to listen to him and respected him as a club legend, who even had the backing of the club president, Florentino Perez. But at PSG, this would be extremely difficult for him to pull off unless the club decides to prioritize the authority of the managers over the players. In conclusion, I'm not saying players shouldn't have a say, but at least the manager's authority should not be undermined in any way. Tuchel left PSG to coach a hungry group of Chelsea players and won the Champions League with them instantly. And until PSG decides to start playing more as a team, I'm afraid they will keep on experiencing heartbreak after heartbreak on some of the biggest stage possible.